Hello everyone. Today's date is 22 November 2021. My name is Akash Babar. Let's discuss our today's video topic, that is constructors in Java. Let's discuss our today's video topic. Today we will discuss firstly properties of constructor, syntax of a constructor, how actually it works constructor. Then we will see some of the important and major points of constructor. Then we will see what is the difference between constructor and a method and types of a constructor. So let's start. What are the properties of constructor? Constructor is like a method but not a method. Constructor does not have a return type. Then constructor can be called a default. If we don't call constructor, it can be called as default constructor. Then there is one another property of constructor is that we can give parameters to a constructor. If we created object with the help of new keyword, then we don't need to if we call a constructor with the help of new keyword of object, then we need to create at least one constructor. So that's the important points of a constructor. Then we will see what are the syntax of a constructor. Syntax of a constructor is that we firstly give a access modifier. We can give access modifier as public, protected, default, private. Then we will use class name as a constructor name. We have to use same name as a class name as a constructor name. If we don't use same name as a constructor name, then it gives an error. Then there is in a bracket we use parameters to a constructor. If we call default constructor, then there is no parameter, and if we use parameters, that is constructor, we calls that constructor. Then we will see what are the important points of constructor. First important point is we only use same name of a class. We don't use return type. Then we uses this and super keywords in a constructor. Without this keyword, we can't give instance variables to the constructor. So that is the main important points of constructor. Then we will see what is the difference between constructor and method. Constructor does not have return type and method have a return type. Then constructor name is same as class name. Method name can be anything. Then if we in a method we don't access access variable with the help of this keyword, and in a constructor we uses this keyword. That is the main difference between constructor and method. In a constructor we can create multiple constructor. That is the property of a overloading of a constructor. So that another thing of a constructor. Then we will see what are the types of a constructor. First one is parameterized constructor and non-parameterized constructor. We will see firstly non-parameterized constructor. This constructor is called as default constructor. If we don't call any constructor, then by default this constructor is called. So in default constructor, any parameter is passed. Then we will see what is meant by parameterized constructor. In parameterized constructor, we pass the variables, and in the block of a code we use this keyword, and this with the help of this keyword we can instantiate that variables with the upper starting of the variable. So in the class, if we created a parameterized constructor, then programmer should create and programmer should create and default constructor himself. And if we don't create parameterized constructor, then by default Java gives a default constructor. So that's all for a constructor. Thank you.